Heyo, this is Jack Cartwheel. You are watching Simply Reliable Studios.
Hey, it's going to be a very short day, Sunday in Italy, with simply predicting this time because I feel like this show is the definition of throwaway. But it should be a cultural experience for the people. So, that being said, we are going to get ready now to go into tonight's festivities and simply predict this rematch card. So, without further ado, let's go. Welcome, everybody, once again to episode number 173 of my ongoing series. That is Simply Predicting, as we discuss Clash in Italy here. So, welcome in, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome in once again to Simply Predicting. You know what this is, for I am the Superman, the Super Brand, the voice of wrestlers for great for all professional wrestling, damn it, and my name is Noel Foster. So thank you all for tuning in, whether live or on demand. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. And if you want to dictate the conversation, super chat, simple as that. And of course, the prediction lead form will be available once the stream concludes in the comments section and on my social media too. That being said, we have Emmanuel, we have JJ, so it's a simple trio. Let's go ahead and get this done. You all can enjoy wine, say dolce, and also sleep. And thank you for those that are already in the chat, including Darren G, Dave Scheffler, Safet, and of course, DJ. Appreciate you, man. I acknowledge you more than I acknowledge me, damn it. All right, now let's go ahead and introduce the panel. First and foremost, of course, one half of the MVPs, the VIPs, and Simply Studios. It is, of course, one of the biggest. Emmanuel, how are you this evening, my friend?
I'm doing good. Like this pay-per-view should be interesting. Fortunately, I'll be probably seeing this pay-per-view when I return home from election duty. So I'm gonna see
fun.
what.
Okay.
Yeah. It's $135. So it's okay. It's per day. For 4 days, you're at the math. It's pretty good payday for 4 days. It's easy going and it works close, but I'll probably gonna see this later and not see social media and not spoil myself because I know how Facebook, Instagram, etc. will leave you the thoughts and like, oh my God, they shouldn't book this way and etc. I'm like, it's my own damn fault for not avoiding social media.
That's fair enough, and Dave Scheffler, I appreciate you. That being said, buongiorno, JJ. How are you on this evening? Congrats on the article on NordicUL.com, my friend. How you feel about Clash in Italy?
This is the night. It's a beautiful night. And we call it Bella Notte.
Mamma mia, he had to bring Disney into the conversation. All right, JJ, how are you, though? Seriously, bro.
Okay, fine.
That's the article.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore.
All the typical Italian tropes, despite the fact I use royalty-free Italian music that is not even a Disney or even about the pizzeria, and you had to bring that in. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this thing. I guess I'm the Godfather tonight. What's going on, JJ, though? Seriously, how are you, my friend? Congrats on the article again, by the way.
Thank you for reading it because like you said, you don't click, you don't scroll, you don't read articles, but in order for you to read that for me, that means a lot, my man. So thank you.
I always support my friends. Bottom line.
I'm doing good. Yeah, I don't know if Emmanuel read it or not. You know, my first ever article published on NoDQ.com.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, so I gotta check that out now.
There'll be a link to it, folks. There'll be a link to it, folks, in the description down below once this video concludes.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that was in my brain. I originally wrote it as a script for a YouTube video, and I was like, let me see if Aaron will take this.
So instead of doing a TED Talk, you decided to just publish it as an article on the NotiQ forum.
I still may turn it into a video because content is key. But, yeah, it was something that was bothering me, and we'll get into it, I'm sure, when we get to that match here on this card. I'm looking forward to Clash in Italy. This is going to be a far better show than that other company out of Jacksonville who ran a 4.5-hour pay-per-view and then followed it up with a 3-hour Dynamite Collision and gave one match and 35 seconds to the women. So, yeah. Between the Vita Coco on the Double or Nothing pre-show and the way they booked the women this week on Dynamite, don't want to hear it from the sickos ever again.
Look,
ever.
All right,
all arguments are null and void.
Calm down.
But let's get into the E. Let's not get tribalistic. Let's have a fun night of conversation, Noah.
Yeah, you're starting to sound like a Bowser. You're starting to sound like a villain here. All right, let's not go down that route, my friend. And even WWE has had their own tropes. We're gonna play devil's advocate. I always will look at both sides the same way. And again, here you go, folks. There's a little screenshot for you of JJ's article. Again, if you want to read it, read more about it. We also might further highlight once we get into this match. Again, there will be a link, of course, in the description down below. So again, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. As you pointed out, indeed, we have a fun little PLE for the first time internationally as WWE continues to explore further the markets. We go now to Italy, my home roots, my ancestry. Sure to be a fairly fun experience. And we got 2 matches that will be on ESPN and 3 others that will be exclusively on ESPN Unlimited. So with that being said, we're going to go talk about those first 2 matches that they confirmed will be on the first hour, and then we'll go into the other 3, which does include actually the one you referred to. As again, both companies still need to figure out what to do with women, but that's a whole different conversation. And hopefully Italy has clear skies and beautiful days, and the storm is pushed away. As, of course, Mommy Rhea Ripley defends the WWE Women's Championship once again against that bitch, Jade Cargill. Oy vey. So that being said, straight up, folks, before I go into this, rematch. So just go along with it. Let's go talk about Rhea Ripley and her brutality and the lack thereof on SmackDown, it seems so far. As, of course, we've seen so far 2 weeks in a row, or 2 events in a row, Rhea Ripley has been on the blunt end of being dated and being pinned. So right now, favor is in favor of the challenger to regain the title. All I know is that happens, I'm going to be saying, Mamma Mia, and also say a lot more other stuff in Italian if I can learn how to swear, because that's going to be bullshit. But nonetheless, Rhea Ripley and her DiGiorno-level employee, Timu baddies, that she has been trying to neutralize that have been on Jade Cargill's wings, better weather people, I guess, than Al Roker and whoever does the CBS News. We basically got this rematch here because I got nobody else. Even though we got a Fatal Influence where Jessie Jane, you figure, would be maybe pushed towards this opportunity, or a 6-woman tag here would build someone towards that. No different conversation for another day. I'm not going down that trope. Again, women outlook and wrestling in general, still left up unless you're in Stardom. Nonetheless, Jade Cargill, Rhea Ripley, it is what it is. We're doing it again. As it seemed like it was rushed to the finish, and Jade crashed under the pressure, especially when Io Sky played difference maker. We know that won't be the case. Now, whether or not Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss make a difference, that's a whole different conversation. Or if it'll influence affects the results, that's a whole different conversation also in itself. I'm going to go ahead and start this thing off. As always, since predicting one person has a short dissertation and the rest of the panel can agree or disagree or give their own thoughts. Since we have a very simple match card of 3 matches and a simple size panel, everyone will share their thoughts. Yeah, Rhea's retaining. You didn't break up Rio when we all should have seen Rio involved in WrestleMania just to bring Ripley to SmackDown because you lack star power, you lack actual freaking in-depth focus for your blue product investment for the women's division, and you lack a realistic champion. Rhea Ripley's not losing this title. If she does, then WWE is even more effed up than I thought without Logan Paul being involved because he got injured, and Logan Paul was the only constant, it felt like. I got Rhea Ripley retaining, and hopefully it does lead to Fallout and further tension. Charlotte Flair and Rhea. Rhea goes away from Charlotte Flair. Flair and Cargill have a feud. Fatal Influence continues to target Rhea Ripley because, again, not even involved in the card. Pretty much an afterthought. Great call-up so far. And, again, as far as Alexa Bliss goes, Alexa Bliss tried to play Peacemaker. Seemed like it was working at Sarah's main event. But give the damn girl a freaking moment already, for freaking sake, because she's overdue for it. Even if it's a short feud with Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley, regardless, needs to be the champion in order for SmackDown Women's Division to go in the right direction, in my opinion. Stateside oriented. Okay, let's go ahead and see what the rest of you think. First and foremost, we're going to go this way around the triangle, clockwise. Emmanuel, what is your thoughts on Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill? Does that dub regain the title, or does Rhea bury that bitch?
I'm over Rhea, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm over both.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what to say about the division right now. It's frustrating where it's going. No, put this in mind. Both women world champions are not being booked in the singles match until this. This just came out of nowhere because of a dumb trios feud with Fatal Influence. Like, that's how it became a one-on-one, because Jay got the victory over Rhea in Saturday Night Main Event, and I kind of figured they would.
And the SmackDown before, people actually tune into that. Thank you, W_Matches on YouTube, for giving me the highlights, so I don't have to worry about WWE streaming services. Continue. I used to say fuck in Italian. Anyway, continue. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like, Rhea's gonna retain this. Like, I don't see the purpose for Jay to regain it anytime soon. They experiment. Unfortunately, for Hero Run didn't light the sky to fireworks what they expected. Maybe a babyface run will do her better, but unfortunately, this heel run was a flop for Jade, and now they have Meacham and BFAP going heel for no reason. Like,
well, I mean, Lady Reed and Fallon Henry need to bury two freaking catering companies on SmackDown to put some stock into them as tag team challengers, then so be it. But continue.
But yeah, I have Rhea winning this. I expect some interference for BFAP and Meacham, and then either Sky might help out Rhea, or the Charlotte and Alexa might help out to even the odds. But either way, we could expect some help from the outside, and then end up 1-on-1, and Rhea wins in the end. Sadly.
Fair enough. Thank you, by the way. Grazie. That being said, the cool of Jade Cargill. All right, that being said, so we got two for Rhea Ripley. All right, let's talk to the biggest fan of that bitch since she was the TBS champion in AEW. Hi, JJ. Buongiorno. Go ahead and give your prediction towards this. Come on, bruv. Even you have to realize the fact that this is a rematch as well. This just seems like it was rushed. Not to mention, we just had back. This is the second PLE, by the way, in the same month for WWE. That's a whole different conversation. Overkill. And Saturday Night's Main Event. Thank you, by the way, to those that tuned in to Major Push Wrestling, by the way, for our further discussion on Saturday Night's Main Event and the actual importance of the event, or lack thereof, on the Papagino Network. Subscribe today. Yeah, Lend your thoughts towards this match. What you got to say towards the state of the WWE Women's Championship and these two being at the precipice of it again?
Okay. When was the last time we had two people trade belts back and forth on a somewhat like short basis, like a hot potato?
Probably
I feel like it's something. I feel like it's something that's been missing from wrestling for a while, and I could see it as something that could be done here. So I'm not 100% Rhea Ripley leaves with the title. I'm about 85%.
still freaking strong.
It's still majority odds in her favor. But when was the last time we had two people trading belts back and forth? Like the last one that comes to my mind was Sammy Guevara and Scorpio Sky over the TNT title. Can you think of something more recent than that?
Not off the top of my head at this moment.
So, and that was what, like 4 years ago?
Give or take.
Because Sky was out of action for well over a year. Shortly after that, I don't know, man. Like, as far as the Temu baddies go, they've got the numbers in their favor. Rhea needs equalizers. Can Charlexa be trusted? Can Charlotte specifically be trusted to get the job done for Rhea?
That would be the X factor.
Right now, I'm going to say Rhea, but after SmackDown tomorrow, I may change my pick.
Fair enough. And of course, predictions, folks. Keep in mind, by the way, guys, your predictions, of course, matter too. Your predictions had to be submitted will be a final 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday afternoon, as this starts 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday afternoon here in the States, despite the local time in Italy. That's why it's on Sunday versus Saturday, for those that are wondering. Also, keep in mind, this match, along with the other match we're about to talk about, will be also available for those simply with the ESPN channel, as the first hour of this PLE will be broadcast on ESPN streams before it's exclusively on ESPN Unlimited here for stateside users. And, of course, Netflix International gets the whole thing. But right now, we're all right now buying into the brutality, even if it is softer than DiGiorno pizza dough at this point. All right, let's go ahead and move on from there into the other match that will be involved in the first hour. And I'm very curious to see what y'all think about this, because the cornerstone of the WWE brand, I always thought, was the undisputed WWE Championship. Guess what? It's a soft burn. And this very well could be the opener. Believe it or not, these two are in the first hour. It's the Gunther versus the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, for the undisputed WWE title in the opening hour. All right, so straight up, want to talk about freaking swerve, want to talk about curveball, want to talk about we're just going to throw freaking pizza sauce against the wall and turn it into modern art. Well, we are in a city that's full of history in itself with its own form of art, but these graphics being AI-driven, I mean, again, Picasso, Michelangelo, Da Vinci are probably rolling in their grave, but that's a different conversation. Okay, anyway, Cody Rhodes been, of course, the undisputed WWE champion, of course, since we can't get back from Drew McIntyre. Talk about your TED Talk later on the trope, my friend, or freaking go mute and rant on yourself, and I'll play Italian music. That being said, the undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes has held, of course, since beating Drew McIntyre prior to WrestleMania and beating Randy Orton in one of the worst main events of recent WrestleMania memory. And, of course, we thought, okay, who's going to challenge him? Maybe Jacob Fatu. Maybe Sami Zayn goes at him because he's pissed off. Maybe somebody else will rise from NXT and surprise like Carmelo Hayes when he was first drafted. Maybe somebody else in the SmackDown roster gets an opportunity that has been out of the shadows, like Ilya Dragunov, just to give us a whole new dynamic. But, oh no! We got the Ring General, because the Ring General apparently is not going after Brock Lesnar. So now we have the Ring General apparently drafted Bransford LL to SmackDown as he signed the dotted line. And we've had these tensions build for this rematch. As Gunther, of course, has been trying to choke out Cody. Cody says, I'm not a hard man to find, but I am a hard man to beat. And ironically, as QB1 or the Nepo baby of this century, he very might be right. Regardless, the undisputed WWE Championship is on the line, and what I believe is going to be Cody Rhodes and Gunther's third ever singles match together, despite the fact they've literally teased the idea of one upping each other across multiple Royal Rumbles in the finale. So, bottom line, on a show that feels like nothing more but a glorified international house PLE with the flavor of Italy at the forefront, let's go ahead and see if you all believe there will be a new QB as the undisputed holder of the title that represents WWE. We'll go around the opposite order this time. Since I started the last time, we'll go with the Renegade. Just kick things off here for the first time. JJ, what do you think about this never-ending story of Cody Rhodes being at the top and Gunther being thrown into the freaking pizza oven? Do you think Gunther has a chance in hell, or is it pretty much a foregone conclusion? Again, first hour, everybody's going to see this. Does Gunther actually leave with the undisputed WWE Championship? Accurate.
Shows my feelings about Cody Rhodes in the championship.
I'm sure you're not the only one that echoes those same sentiments. Shout out to our baddie friend who just got promoted again, by the way. Congratulations. Subscribe to her channel today. Don't be a dickhead. Baddie of Wrestling. Our Canadian friend, Ash, who shares your sentiment. Continue.
I'm more over Cody as champion than I am Rhea as champion. I don't know if I'm more over Cody as champion than Emmanuel was as Cena as champion, but it's probably getting pretty darn close. The problem with dominant babyface champions is babyfaces are always better on the chase.
Yep.
There are
Here he is being chased.
There are very few dominant babyface champions in history that were good for anything. Even Cody's father was never champion for long.
Oh, I know, baby.
Multi-time champion, but you could probably add up all of Dusty's reigns, and it's probably what Cody's at right now, as far as days held. I think Gunther has a serious shot here, mainly because they're overseas. We're in Gunther's backyard, essentially. Europe. We're in his old stomping grounds. I would not be surprised to see Cody get booed out of the building and to see Walter get a massive pop. And if that happens, then what? Do they improvise? Do they ad lib? Do they call an audible? I think it's very likely. Again, we have SmackDown tomorrow. Opinions can change. Because, hey, I'm off. I can actually be home to watch SmackDown in all its 3-hour glory.
You bloody a fool!
It's me, Mario.
Mamma mia! Why would you waste the 3 hours of your lifetime on that freaking Disney shit?
Because it's the go-home show.
You can play Mario Kart to delegate and just go catch the highlights on the W YouTube channel for a fraction of the time. Order yourself the show to the pizza. It'd be better than the show itself.
I don't have a video game system.
Mamma mia! Someone give this man a Switch.
It is what it is.
Fair enough.
I'm going to go with Gunther right now.
Wow.
And I'm willing to bet if you look at the polls, I'm not alone.
I'll let you know in advance. I'll guarantee you that. Because the forum is not live yet. I literally made sure it would not be live before this. Because I really wanted to see if there would be some polarization in the conversation and predicting. And you've already surprised me. So you have the ring general gaining. It's interesting.
In answer to Dattila, I would probably have to be Mario because I'm shorter and rounder, and you're taller and skinnier, so you'd have to be Luigi.
Why am I your freaking brother? Why am I the second rate to the character? That doesn't make any sense here.
I'm just saying, based off of specs, I'm shorter than you, and I'm heavier than you.
All right, fine.
You're taller than me, and you're way skinnier than me. Emmanuel can be Yoshi.
Oh, no.
Or Bowser. Considering he doesn't like John Cena, he can be Bowser. He's the villain.
You can sing the Peaches song and freaking Gunther wins the title, okay? That being said, he's got Gunther. Okay. Manuel, what are your thoughts towards that? I mean,
if you want Noah to sing ABBA's Mamma Mia on Shenanigans tomorrow, donate in Super Chat.
You are thinking of son of a bitch shot. You always try to put something at the expense of my dignity. Even if you're going to do it in Italian, every time you're going to get, you try to make a freaking buck off of my voice and off of me. And that's not fair.
Apparently, the tail will be Princess Peach.
She is the Mighty Morphin Pig Powder Ranger. All right,
Does that make Ash Daisy?
I would say yes, actually. It's perfect. Now we just need to find another woman that could be Pauline or
Rosalina. She's got Arlene as Daisy.
Okay, fair enough. She is actually the first one that was the ginger. So Ash can jump up in the air and be Pauline. She's probably got a singing voice. All right, that's not here nor there. Stay tuned. We'll be playing the Mario Kart probably during the commercial breaks to keep you all entertained and also engaged ourselves. I don't know. That being said, Emmanuel, your turn. He's got Gunther, and I think it's kind of interesting because I do think we really need to have a memorable moment, but also something needs to change in the landscape of WWE. Much as we've been talking ad nauseum on Major Push Wrestling and No DQ Review and even well, we haven't talked on Shenanigans yet. Stay tuned for that this Saturday, folks. There's been a paradigm shift when it comes down to, there you go, she jumps up in the air. So it's one of those things, though, that I feel like people are starting to realize, hey, there's more to wrestling than the WWE, and that's some crazy hot shit. Double or nothing. Despite what TV might be. TV versus pay-per-view is a whole different conversation for another day. And at least one TV show is not redundant every week. But that's a whole different conversation for another day. That being said, I'm back on to this matter at hand. The Gunther and Scully Rhodes undisputed WWE Championship. As long as it says on the banner, you cannot say anything about it. That being said, Emmanuel, you got Gunther getting this. I mean, Gunther has yet to be the WWE champion in his career, despite the fact he's been a world champion or a champion of a sorts over 88% of his career. Of course, last title he held was the World Heavyweight Championship, and he lost to CM Punk in the SummerSlam. But now that he's on SmackDown, maybe getting a new phase of the Blue Brand, it might be what the Blue Brand needs. And this also might lead, finally, to him as Ilya Dragunov, which I've been waiting for since the two decided to sign to the E. Now, why his avatar may be a smoke and a mirrors, is a smoke and a mirrors to believe that Gunther could be the undisputed WWE Championship. So, that being said, Emmanuel, what is your prediction on this matter?
Well, first of all, Noah, if I'm going to be a villain, I have to be my favorite character of all time, Waluigi. So, I'm going to do with my Waluigi sound. Waluigi!
all the Italian tropes tonight. Oh, yep. Good grief. I'm loving this panel so far because, again, I am Italian. Italian goes back to my roots, and I love this. I hope I have a chicken Alfredo doing this. I'm kind of tired of pizza, and I feel like a pizza is not even worth spending on this BLE because I'll save more money in the long haul. Anyway, go ahead, Emmanuel.
Well, Waluigi will think Gunther is going to win this. Why? Because here's why. Cody Rhodes as champion.
You're hurting your voice.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's hard to keep the conversation as Waluigi. And there it is.
There's more Mario Trumps here than WWE entrance. Good grief. Continue. This is funny.
But yeah,
we're losing our damn minds. And I'm sober, by the way. I don't even have William Russo. I wish I did. I have Mountain Dew. Continue.
Yeah, but yeah, like Gunther needs to win this. Like Gunther needs to win this. I feel like Cody Rhodes at champion is running his course. If the reins are still down, it's Cody Rhodes. It reflects on the champion that you have. Sadly, and SmackDown has not really improved in reign. It's gone worse. It's gone down, and there's a major reason, and it's Cody Rhodes' fault. Yes, he's QB1, and that's the problem that a lot of WWE put themselves into. Because they say he's quarterback one, we gotta use him whether you like it or not, and people the IWC International Wrestling community are fed up with that decision. Casual fans are still cheering full coach, so they're in a predicament right now. Should they listen to the casual fans who waste a bunch of money while eliminating the IWC plan, which is ironic because it's still working in the casual fan world. But in IWC, we're over it. We're done with Cody Rhodes as champion. So what do you do here? But right now, Gunther really needs that championship, and it'll be a treat to see either if the predictions is Oba is going to defeat Roman Reigns, it'll be a treat to see Gunther lose to a power Hobbs, like Keith. I forget his new name. Royce Keys.
Royce Keys.
Yeah.
I got you.
Royce Keys. Yeah.
Royce Keys.
It'd be a treat to see him win. It'll be also a treat to see Javon Evans win that WWE title against Gunther. Like, there's a lot of options and a lot of babyface that could benefit winning against Gunther for the championship, WWE championship, the undisputed WWE championship. But then Cody Rhodes right now, like Cody Rhodes really doesn't need the title right now. He needs time off with that title. Let him do something else for the meantime. I don't know what exactly, but give him time off. He has worked hard. You gave CM Punk time off. You gave Randy Orton time off. You gave Roman Reigns time off. Why not Cody Rhodes? He deserves the time off, and it's time for a change.
All right. So two for Gunther. It's funny. I do think it's one of those points now where WWE even needs to realize that the dish you're serving is not quality restaurant here. It's almost like literally frozen microwave, and you're heating it just enough that it doesn't make you sick. But it's one of those things that they do need to make some changes. And I do think Clash in Italy needs to elicit change, especially at the top tier. But it's also one of those things considering what we got actually in the other half of this show that's going to be exclusive on ESPN. Where does the change truly happen? Where does it need to happen? I'm kind of on the fence with this too, like the both of you. But I do believe that Gunther should win this. And I kind of like the idea of the fact that we are in Italy and Cody Rhodes might be delivered as the enemy, that it might play in Gunther's favor. Because it's not about being the career killer or whatever the frick that gimmick was that died prior to WrestleMania, being perfectly honest. That's not even at the forefront here. It's just Gunther beating Cody Rhodes finally and also claiming the undisputed WWE Championship. So I think right now, I can't believe I'm saying this because it's rare I agree with both these yahoos, folks. I agree with the both of you. I think that Gunther should win the title. I think we do need a new face lift for the undisputed WWE Championship. Thinking about Royce Keys, thinking about Ilya Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes at the forefront that could go after the Ling de la Roll. I really like the idea of Gunther being the one that they oppose because right now we're kind of just spinning our wheels and I'm sick of it if I'm being perfectly honest with you. So I think honestly, especially with the Randy Orton agenda, we need a brand new Undisputed WWE champion. I'm going to go with the Ling de la Roll Gunther too. So hopefully that we get an actual change. So that being said, we are so far unanimous, 2 for 2. All right, so let's go now into the actual show, shall we? And since we only have one women's match here, we are going to bring this forward as the addendum window, and the women will surf waves across the villas of Italy without the gondola. Let's go ahead and talk about the Women's Intercontinental title. As, of course, this is a rematch for Sarah's main event that lasted less than 3 minutes. And, of course, Becky Lynch, who acted like a spoiled prima donna, could not figure out Soruka's gymnastics for the life of her, got herself disqualified, and was a messy finish. Very forgettable. So, it appears made official that now she will defend the WWE Women's Intercontinental title. You want to talk about something else that needs a facelift? I'm just saying. Okay, guys, straight up, you know how this goes. Of course, Saruka surfed the waves to set land right here on the main roster, Monday Night Raw, officially now signed to the Red Brand. Becky Lynch, the man, to be the man, you gotta beat the man, being everybody, one's underneath me, blah, 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 Lady Gaga, blah, 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 not wearing a beach suit, blah, 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 not York wearing a swan. But I'm kind of over Becky Lynch, too. That being said, it's the Intercontinental Championship, the Workhorse Championship of the WWE for the women. It has not been a Workhorse Championship, though, since Lyra Valkyria held it initially, in my personal opinion. And now she's lost in mid-range tag team purgatory with Bayley. But I guess they're having fun together. But for me, Saruka, she doesn't need to be a tag with anybody. She needs to stand on her own. The only way she stands on her own is if she wins this title, in my opinion. I think this should be, again, a night of moments. I think you take the chance with Saruka, as she really was able to surf high across the NXT North American division, in case you all forgot. And we finally bring some new focus to this generation of the WWE and the women's division. But that's just my personal opinion, not really necessarily my prediction. That being said, I start off on the first, you start off on the second. Emmanuel, you will start off on this one. So, Emmanuel, do you have a brand new WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship holder? With Saruka, do you have Becky Lynch retaining by hook and by crook, or by escaping faster than Mario on Invincible Star?
Oh boy, I got a hot take.
Oh, do you?
Saruka was not ready to come to the main roster yet.
Ooh.
Sad to say, because we thought she would bring promise, and we saw the Bayley match, and she looked promising. And we saw the Raw match, and she looked promising. But ever since she got called up, her Soul Snatcher's not been looking pretty. She's been missing more than usual. And I'm not sure if it's just the veterans not knowing the timing of the Soul Snatcher exactly. I don't know if she's been paired up badly lately in those matches throughout her journey in the main roster so far, but she has not been really showing what's so special about her. Like, yes, the Snow Snatcher is a devastating move and unique, but at the same time, like with that spot with the Jessica car, she basically didn't flip. She basically slipped out of the turnbuckle, which is take it a given, because like if you told me to do it, I probably tell like a lot of times until I get it right. But that's a different story. But
right, gotta say.
But at the same time, like, is she ready to be a mid-card champion? I don't think so, to be honest. It would surprise me if Becky somehow retains still and finds another way to cheat and regain this title. But this Becky Lynch telling Saruka she's the Marginetti or not good enough for the main roster is turning her more. And her botching is making it even more worse. Like, maybe Becky is right about her. Maybe she's not ready for the prime time or the big leagues. And it's so sad because you want to root for her. She's the baby safe. And so I'm torn, but I know that each direction they're going to give it to Saruka regardless of her botching. But it's going to be really determining if she could turn this around. If she could turn it around, maybe she has a chance for a main title. But at this point, if she doesn't succeed and she keeps watching, they might cut her loose by the end of the year, and that's what say. But it is what it is. Like, what do you want? A safe wrestler or a person who botches a lot? I'd rather work with a safe wrestler and than getting myself hurt. So for me, it's Saruka, but I could be. But I won't surprise me if Becky returns.
That was a very interesting take and interesting prediction when it comes to the capability and caliber of somebody on the main roster when they literally just started, while you're already saying you can't even flip a pancake right. With that being said, he still has Saruka becoming. All right. Well, JJ, let's be honest here. This match, I feel like, is almost one of those things where they want to try and maybe correct what happened at Saturday's main event. I think they kind of rushed in what they were doing there. I don't think they were coordinated enough or prepared enough for it. And maybe this is a way to, try and actually create the match they wanted to do in the first place. It's one of those things, much like in Mario, you continue before the countdown hits 0 before it's game over. And again, this is Saruka's second biggest chance since she's arrived at Monday Night Raw after taking on Liv Morgan in her debut match, let's forget, and taking on Io Sky, the only one so far that scouted for the Soul Snatcher by just being out of distance from it. Neither here nor there, we don't know if Becky Lynch can survive the Soul Snatcher, and I think that's going to be a key element here. But much like Lyra and Becky and their feud, and Lyra breaking down after SummerSlam, I'm going to imagine how Saruka felt after what happened at Saturday's main event, and Becky for that matter. I don't think it just falls on Soul or the referee. I think it falls on everybody, including the Gorilla. So I really do hope that this is a redemption for these two in what you expect them to do. But that being said, JJ, what do you think? It just seems so sudden now. Literally 1 week, 8 days, we're running this back. And it just feels like to me that they are rushing things, but do you rush so right now into a championship versus prolong it? Because Becky Lynch is someone that could help her. Lady Gaga character or not, there's a reason why she's been a standard on the main roster for the better part of a freaking decade. What do you think, JJ? This is your NXT after all. And again, folks, go read this article as you see right here. And it looks like right now we are subtly frozen. So I'm just going to go ahead and... Okay. Let's get that. I have recommended everybody again. Not today. The Super Liable Studios, okay? Let's follow up today at Studio 2024 to follow the resurrection of Castle 18 Studios and Wrestling Interactive Games and Movies. Also, Culture Power Bomb and the new adventure by the Dylan, Buddy of Wrestling. And then again, go enjoy your favorite dinner, whether it's a pizza or Alfredo or something else in between. Maybe have some Allegrini. You've been playing the Mario Kart 8 lately, I have not, but I've also haven't had a freaking Switch 2 to play Mario Kart the World. And I want to try that game at some point too. But you do see we do have a serious problem with the WWE mid-card titles, especially for the women. With Saruka being the correction, that remains to be seen. Is that really the only question? I don't know. That being said, that's a great freeze frame. We're live, pal. Technical difficulties.
We'll be right back.
Shut the heck up, Emmanuel. All right.
What's the matter with you?
No. What's the matter with you? You're the one that transferred to the commercial break, and I don't do the commercial instead of addicting. You know I don't do commercial instead of addicting. You know how angry I am to commercials already. You know how much I hate about advertising. And the fact of the matter, we're going to have advertising in Italy even infuriates me anymore. It makes my blood to boil. All right. That being said, well, this is awkward.
Go ahead, Noah.
I guess it's on me. Okay. Look, I want change to happen in the WWE. The only way that happens is if we see titles change hands. But let's see if JJ agrees.
Hello.
Hello, my friend. What happened to you?
It's me, the Renegade.
Mamma mia, we're punching already. JJ, your turn, though. Seriously, dude. What do you guys say regarding the Canelo title outside your article, by the way? Again, folks, give it a read and follow back to JJ Williams. And a new player has entered the screen. Please welcome Aline.
Careful.
Now, you need to be careful and be on your best behavior because she will throw the chocolate at you because she doesn't have a baguette. Hello, Arlene. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, Noah?
I'm doing fine. I'm having the fun here tonight. I'm still addicting as always, while, of course, the others try to drive me up a wall. You know, the usual stuff all the time. As we're talking about Becky Lynch and Saruka, at this point, though, we have a female to foretell the tale of the only women's match on this card that actually truly matters. JJ, would you like to suspend the prediction and give Arlene the floor to give her dictation?
Go for it.
Arlene, I put it to you. Do you believe that Soluka wins Becky Lynch's title, or does she wipe out?
If there's gonna be a title change, out of all the title changes, all the titles that are on this card, it would be the women's championship. Let's be honest. Out of every championship that there's on this card, if I were to say which one do you think is most likely to change hands, I would think it would be the women's. That being said, based on just the creative and just based on that alone, I feel like there isn't going to be any title changes, and that's probably just a spoiler right there for my picks. I don't think there's going to be any title changes. All this is going to lead is to the next pay per view, which is what pay per view is that, Noel? Is it
The,
SummerSlam? No,
the,
there's something before that. No,
the, the,
July.
and the next PLE, I believe, is also, isn't it Night of Champions, I think? Next up, I forget. Someone to check on the
Google
WWE
that.
schedule.
Someone Google that. Well, someone Googles that, it might change because like if it's not a champions, it's gonna stay the same. Gunther's gonna lose because there's no way that's gonna be Gunther versus Roman. It's night of champions.
Yes, it is. The June the 27th.
So I don't see
Unless
no
they
title
announce a
change.
King Queen of the Ring.
Yeah.
What the
Okay.
fuck are they doing that? They're not going to do a single night to the tournament. We've always talked about this. I'm freaking around. Okay, sorry. Continue.
With that being said, just because it's Night of Champions, I think I heard you guys pick either Gunther or Cody. Based on that, I do not see them having Gunther versus Roman because if it's Gunther versus Roman, Gunther has to win Roman because he's on this streak of retiring all these people. It would not make sense if Roman, either way, Gunther's screwed. If he loses to Cody, he's screwed. If he wins against Cody but loses against Roman, he's screwed. Like, you can't win. Gunther cannot win in this situation with whoever he faces. It's like he's not gonna he doesn't win in any scenario because it's like he can't beat Roman. He should beat Roman, but he most likely won't beat Roman. But with that being said, based on that, I will pick Cody just because the Dino Champions is the next pay per view. I don't see Gunther winning. I don't
Fair
see it
enough.
being Gunther versus Roman. And if it is going to be Gunther winning, Gunther's not winning against Roman. So that's spoiler for Dino Champions when we do the predictions. If that ends up being the scenario, Roman's winning, Gunther's not going to win. And for this one, Becky's winning just because WWE creative when it comes to the women, especially when it comes to the Intercontinental US Championship, they don't have any creative direction. So I feel like she's just going to retain. Thank you very much.
Okay, I thank you for that, but I just want to point out the crown jewel is where the world champions collide one-on-one against each other for the over-glorified ring and the photo op. It's not Night of Champions that they do that. They might just defend the titles or present them. But thank you, Arlene. Wow. All right. Well, that being said, she has Becky retaining, and reluctantly, Emmanuel says he has Slow gaining. So right now it's 50-50. This is very interesting. All right, JJ. Now back to you, my friend, of course, who brought the article. So let's go ahead and lend your thoughts now towards the Women's Intercontinental Championship outside of your literary analysis. What do you have to say regarding this? Do you have a brand new champion?
Here becomes the thing as far as the article goes.
And you can read a little bit right here, folks. Give me a taste.
If Becky retains, who does she feud with next? She's pretty much beaten everybody.
Yeah.
That means that Soul almost has to win. But I also agree with what Emmanuel said in the fact that Soul has not been Soul since becoming up to the main roster.
She's stutter stepped.
So does she deserve the championship? I think part of it is what Emmanuel brought up in the fact that the more established women don't know how to take the move or don't want to take the move. Yeah, that could also be a thing. Is it one of those that doesn't work for me, brother, type of situations?
Brother. Well, I mean, it's not the first time she's been compared to that, but continue.
if we get the belt on Soul, she can feud with people that are more on her level, women that should be in the IC title picture anyways. Ivy Nile, Roxanne Perez,
Keep going.
Lyra Valkyria,
Keep going.
women from NXT that Soul has encountered at some point in her career that know how to take her moves and make her look good.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got Soul getting the dub here. And I really don't know what's going to happen if Becky retains. Or if Becky's the one to take the belt back off of Soul. Because it's just repeat process and it's getting old.
It's a never-ending story is what it is.
Hey, you leave that movie alone. That's a damn good movie.
Okay.
I never saw the third one. I never saw the third one.
That is one of the cheapest songs ever. I've never seen the movie. I know the music, okay? I've literally wrote the music, have fun with it, all right?
The song is phenomenal.
But I'm going to go down and this film about some rats. And no one cares about that cheesy movie, all right? And that movie does not matter in this essentially, okay?
The first two movies were phenomenal.
What? Bullshit they were.
The third one I never
fiction.
saw.
No.
The third one I never saw, but the first two were good. Damn it, I will not let you speak badly about the never-ending story.
Dude, you really won't make anything fresh. You are out of your damn mind, all right? You belong.
You have to remember how young I was when these came out. These are movies of my time, Youngin.
And these are movies that were criticized on Science Mystery Theater 3000 by a silhouette robot.
Yeah, during your time. But during my time, I was like 9 when the first one came out, okay? I was about the age of the boy in the movie.
No wonder you relate.
And then the second movie had Jonathan Brandis. How dare you say an unkind word about the deceased?
Oh, my bad about the deceased. Lord forbid.
The third one had Jack Black in an early role that kind of says everything you need to say about it right there. But Arlene has her hand up, though. She wants to
say Adam Sandler is greater than Jack Black, and Adam Sandler's done worse movies than Jack Black has. Let's forget about Pixels. Yeah. Anyway,
wait, Pixels is good too.
No, damn it! Not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
As a kid who grew up with 80s video games, Pixels is awesome. It is a live-action Wreck-It Ralph.
You're back to a virtual reality freaking stuck in a trope. What the fuck, man? All right,
this is a live-action Wreck-It Ralph.
This is not Hot Dog and a Handshake. Go talk more about that shit there, all right? Anyway, shut your face. Arlene, what? I saw your hand. What do you got to say real quick? This went into a whole different tangent.
I was about to say the only person that it would make sense, but even then, like, she hasn't really appeared in WWE. But I mean, Becky has been saying like, who, like when Io Sky came out, who's brave enough to challenge me? And Io Sky came out, and she had said the same thing that she said to Soul. I wasn't asking for you. I was more asking for Rhea. But if she opens up another challenge, I could see Jessica Carr, which I don't know what she goes by in Evolve, showing up because they have a storyline right there. Jessica Carr and Becky Lynch have a story right there. Every time she's in a match, she always blames Jessica Carr for costing her the match.
And Carr got bumped and
right
through the disqualification at Saturday Night's Main Event, to your point.
So the story's there. That's why I said, like, if they cared about the storyline, it only would make sense if Jessica Carr was the one to take off the title from her. The only person to me that would make sense, because for me, Soroka does like all the people that JJ mentioned. Io, I mean, Roxy is about a heel, but like Roxanne is the heel, but like Lyra's not a heel. Like you have more baby faces than heels. Though. But so to me, it's like it would make more sense if you have a heel champion. There is rumors supposedly that they're going to call Nikita Lyon up. So there could be another person that might, but even then, like I said, they haven't done any really the only person, like JJ said, because I read his article, good article, JJ, is that Becky Lynch has had the title 3 times. Who's to say she's not going to have it for the 4th time, 5th time? Just because they don't have anybody in Raw.
She'll be the Chris Jericho. She'll be the Chris Jericho of the women's division. That's what it's going to become. They
don't believe in anybody else. Roxanne, I feel like she's ready. She's been ready for a while. Why they haven't pulled the gun on Roxanne is beyond me. Rant. But like to me, it doesn't make sense. Like there's so many people that are, I feel like, that are ready, and they're just not giving them the chance. And to me, it's like they're not going into the creative. They rather have Becky Lynch freaking hold this freaking title. And it just mind blows me, because it's like, if Soul wins this, yeah, she has different people, but Becky's gonna insert herself right back in here, and they're gonna give her the title one more time. We're gonna have 4-time Becky Lynch, and I don't want that. Just get her out of the freaking title picture. I would hope Rhea freaking shows up, or Charlotte, and says, "Oh, look it, you don't think you're not no longer good enough to be in the world title, that you have to settle for second best, because that's what the title means." To that, like, the Intercontinental Champion is second best to the world championship. Get me out of this full screen, because I'm done with her rant.
That was great. JJ, I recognize you. Go ahead, speak. That's why I return face back to normal. That was awesome.
My only issue with what Arlene said there is putting the title on Jessica Carr. And I only have an issue with it because while some of us know she's a masked wrestler on Evolve, she's never had a match on the main roster.
She was also previously a wrestler in MCW before she was even masked, by the way, or a referee in the WWE.
So you're basically saying to put the Women's Intercontinental Championship on somebody in their first match. Weirder things have happened. Gail Kim won the world title for her first time in her debut. Santino Marella won the IC title in his debut.
AJ Lee.
Weirder things have happened. But I think it makes more sense for Jessica Carr to fast count Becky down, have her lose the title to Soul that way, and then we can get Becky versus Jessica with no title on the line.
Yeah, because again,
I think that's what we need.
We need a feud that matter and bring merit to the women's division, like Chris Statlander, Shida, Lights Out Filler did, that closed that out. That doesn't involve a championship, but has that backbone of a grudge behind it. And Jessica Carr and Becky Lynch does have that. But do we need a referee going into wrestling again, much like Brooke Tessmarker did at Past Life in TNA against the likes of freaking Gail Kim? I don't think we do. But I'm going to look primarily at the people that are the wrestlers that are supposed to be wrestling a decent match over this title. And I'm going to say this. If Becky beats Soul, you know what this means. We're running it back at Night of Champions. Soul is the next Women's Intercontinental Champion. That's clearly what they want to do with her. Now, do they do it here, or is this a subtle encore of what we fucked up at Science Main Event? Let's call it what it was. It was fucked up. For me, this is baptism by fire again for Soul, who still is finding her footing. She still has yet to walk dry land on Monday Night Raw, straight on her own 2 feet, it sounds like. But again, if we want change in the WWE, for the Intercontinental Championship, by the way, we're on a different continent, then this should be the one fucking title that changes hands at this show. So fuck the point. I'm going with Saruka beats the man, because why the fuck not in this case? I don't think they surf in Italy, but damn it, you need to change up the fucking women's division. So I'm going to go with Saruka as well, whether she botches it or not. Inside cradle. How about the most dangerous move in wrestling? Inside cradle. Roll up. Just go on that rope. All right.
Definitely
now
not a blue thunder bomb.
Oh dear, what happened? He left. Never mind. I'm not going to do that.
Isn't that ironic, that the mighty roll up is more deadlier than the blue thunder bomb?
You can use that sound effect all you want, but he's right.
You both fucking suck. All right, moving on from there. So it's a so, and it's a Becky reluctantly, it sounds like. But honestly, all four of us kind of want So to do it because we're tired of Becky holding the championship because it doesn't do jack shit for anybody. Thank you. That being said, let's go ahead and move on for this freaking title run. Let's talk about the one fight that might actually bring something else. But again, is it a foregone conclusion? Is it just, do the time warp again and jump to the left? Or are we actually trying to progress something? Or is this turning to Cody and Brock reincarnated? What happens when a ruler meets a beast this time when he wants to kill him versus beat him? Guess what, folks? It's the rematch. Obafemi, Brock Lesnar 2. Not much more to say here. We literally called his retirement, quote unquote. At WrestleMania, 5 minutes and some odd seconds, Paul Heyman giving very passionate messages on Monday Night Raw. They made a great video Titantron package about his career. And then tick, 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 tick. About a month later, he's back. And he F5s Obafemi 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Since then, we've heard that he has signed the dotted line for the biggest rematch in WWE history. And Obafemi has answered in kind. Telling Paul Heyman deliver this message as we go back now to what is now the final chapter. This time, I'm not coming to simply fight Brock Lesnar to conquer him. I am coming to kill him. So Obafemi's pissed off. So this match is supposed to go longer than 5 minutes. Are we going to see how many F5s it actually takes? Are you going to try and lock him in the Kimura? Are we going to get a double count out? Is this truly the final chapter? Considering SummerSlam apparently is after 9 champions because they don't have nothing booked for July yet. Or are we going to get a trilogy out of this? Much like, I think to a degree, we all kind of were expecting at least a trilogy of sorts. If we're not going to run the Gunther and Brock Lesnar campaign, which I think is highly unlikely right now. This one's weird, but at least this one might actually lead to something different versus what everyone thinks is going to happen at SummerSlam. So let's go ahead and give everyone's thoughts towards this. And Arlene, since you have not been here to start off the match, you will start this one off. So Brock Lesnar, Obafemi 2, it's the encore. Do you see the same result or do you see a different story carrying out? What do you think?
This should just be Oba winning. I mean, what are we doing?
I asked the same thing.
WrestleMania should have been his go home retirement thingy. Why is he doing this? I don't know. If he wins this, like I was hearing the no DQ predictions and everybody it was kind of a mix too, where a couple of them said they wanted Brock and then the other ones wanted Oba, but I'm like, Brock doesn't need it, and then it was just the perfect setup for WrestleMania. I don't think they need to do a trilogy to this match. If they do, it's and they do it in Minneapolis, and that's where he retires. It's to me, it's what are you doing with Oba after? If he loses, does Oba challenge him to the thingy, and then what's the stake? You retire? I mean, we saw him retire at WrestleMania. Here's another rant. We just saw this at WrestleMania. Why does WWE think we're stupid? We're not stupid. We just saw him say he threw up the eggs, people. WWE thinks we're so stupid that we're gonna forget what we saw freaking in April because now it's freaking, I don't know, in August, and they think we're gonna forget. They're gonna think we forgot the whole I can't believe he's finally retired. For good now. No, he retired at WrestleMania. You can't keep making me think this is an apple and it's really an orange. It's an apple, damn it. So forget how much you win. Stop making me think that I'm stupid, WWE. We saw what happened at WrestleMania. He even said in his freaking promo, he came out of retirement. Don't come back at me in freaking Minneapolis saying, oh, he's retired for good. No, he retired for good WrestleMania. Stop making me think I'm stupid. I know what I saw. I know what I heard. Stop making us look stupid, WWE, because that's what you're doing with this stupid match. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Tonight's chat time was brought to you by the subject, stupidity of the WWE Universe and the assumption of the higher-ups. Brought to you by Arlene Dominguez. Stay tuned next week for the entire controversial idea of John Cena as either GOAT or not. Brought to you by Tatilla and Emmanuel. Thank you, Arlene. That being said, she's got Obafemi winning because this is absolutely nonsense, according to the word retirement, not meaning what you mean in the dictionary. Thank you very much. And oh no, it just got a little crazier. Popping out the manacles on the streets of Italy, Charles Schultz has joined in Simply Predicting. Charles, how are you this evening?
We have won the crazy land.
Yeah, thank.
I was hearing all of this while I was on my way back to the hotel room.
And of course, you couldn't help but to join in, apparently, when you could.
Basically.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, that being said, welcome to the madness. Welcome to the conversation. Welcome to tonight's TED Talks, which have been brought to you by Arlene, who has been taking the mic. Wow. She definitely
Don't make her upset, folks.
I'm about to say, and don't call her stupid.
See that, right? JJ? I had that today, funny enough.
Cheers to that rant, by the way. Superman approved. I'm sure Statboy approves that well. Go follow him at Statsboy Sports Bar. Okay, that being said, Arlene has opened the ballot to Obafemi winning. So let's go ahead and bring the newest person now onto the scene and get his thoughts, and then we'll go around and give everyone else's thoughts. This is fun. I absolutely love this shit. So, for sure, no, Charles, let's go ahead and get your thoughts towards this. Do you have Obafemi winning again, or does Brock Lesnar get his subtle revenge and make it 1-1?
Well, I might still say it's going to be a trilogy. But it's going to be to where Brock's not winning this match. I'm thinking Oba's going to win again. And then Brock's going to get desperate. And then the third match happens at SummerSlam, where Oba beats him 3 times in a row.
Damn.
Basically, 2005, Triple H and Batista all over again.
I can see it. Honestly, I can see it without the
That
Hell in a Cell.
Exactly. That's what I see happening here. Coming out of this.
I can't recall if anyone's ever gotten a hat trick against Brock Lesnar, let alone the span of a single year. So that also would be historic and would be a first. So, fair thought. Okay, that being said, it's 2 for Obafemi, and he's already calling a trilogy going unanimously to the ruler. I mean, if that doesn't build him some sort of credit in WWE, I don't know what will. So, fair point. Thank you for that. All right, let's go to JJ next here. JJ, what do you think here? To Arlene's point, does WWE think that we're really that stupid?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
I think that's an obvious answer.
Yeah, you know what? That's more obvious than literally water is wet, the sun is hot, red's the color of usually roses in the summer, unless you get like yellow, pink, or white, but red's like the primary color. And your heart
Ninja Turtles are from New York.
Or what?
And the Ninja Turtles are from New York.
Oh, yeah, so the Ninja Turtles are from from an ooze attack, popping out. Yeah, someone had to do it. That being said, JJ, what do you think here? Despite the stupidity in the outlook of the booking versus the fans' mentality, do you think Obafemi goes 2-0 against the Beast Incarnate? And does Brock Lesnar get that desperate? Does Brock throw a hissy fit to the point he tries to destroy Obafemi maybe post-match, and that's maybe how you stall this to set up the hat trick, the final act at maybe SummerSlam, despite the fact that's in August? I just want to point that out there. What do you think the cause effect of this freaking sequel is?
I've got Brock winning.
Okay.
Barely.
Oh.
Barely. It will not be a dominant victory. He only was able to look so dominant on Raw because the element of surprise. Oba's going to be expecting him this time. So he won't be able to be so dominant. Brock will get the dub, barely. And this is going to mess with Brock because he's always been able to dominate. Even in defeat, he's been able to dominate. And he was unable to dominate Oba, which will set up for the third match because Brock is looking to win emphatically, definitively.
To conquer!
And Oba will get that third victory.
Interesting. So we go from the surprise element to the exhaustion factor to the point of acceptance, basically.
Mm-hmm. And then, if that match isn't at SummerSlam, the third match, that could be what leads him to Gunther. I couldn't beat this young upstart. I need to test myself against the best. And I'm willing to put my career on the line.
For real.
For real. Because if you notice, and this was pointed out by somebody, I forget who, they made sure to stay away from words like retired. I don't think they ever definitively said Brock Lesnar has retired. So they may have alluded to, they may have suggested, but I don't think they officially ever said Brock Lesnar has retired.
I'll give you that. You're right.
So
you're right.
There was that open-ended loophole. This would be an official retirement. They would use the R word.
All right. Well, that being said, I see two hands. I see Charles put his hand up second. So, Arlene, you go first. And then, Charles, go ahead, Arlene, what you got to say real quick?
Like I said, he said it in his promo. He came out of retirement. In his promo, Brock said he came out of retirement.
Fair enough. But Brock said that, then JJ, you got no argument.
Just because Brock said it didn't mean that the powers that be said it.
It doesn't matter to me.
Anytime Brock disappears for a lengthy period of time, it could be taken as a retirement.
Then Roman has been on retirement several times, and he's never said, I came out of retirement. It's wording, JJ. You do not say just because you take time off, I came out of retirement. No, because then Roman should be wording it differently too, because then he's been taking retirements every year after WrestleMania, except for this year. It's all about the way you word things. If he would have said, I came out after that match, did not use the word retirement at all, then I would give it to you. But the fact that he said he came out of retirement, you can't say, it's like, it goes back to making us look stupid, because it's like they're hoping that we're not listening to what Brock is actually saying. This is why I said they're making us think we're something and not actually listening to what's actually being said. And that was like my whole rant. He literally said in his promo, if you were paying attention, not that I'm saying that you weren't paying attention, but if you were paying
I didn't
attention,
see the episode. I actually worked, so you know.
But like, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, for those who were paying attention to the promo, like, you would have heard it. Some people might have missed it, and they're like, I don't remember him saying that. And they probably, if you go back, they probably changed it to where because WWE does this too, where in the East Coast, certain things are said, then you go back and watch it in the West Coast, and they take it out.
Accurate.
So it's like, on the West Coast, maybe they didn't hear the word retirement. You see, like, WWE is so sneaky when it comes to these things. So sneaky. I've seen it myself, where I'm like, I go watch the East Coast feed, then I watch the West Coast feed, and I'm like, they changed certain things. Like, you could tell that they changed certain things, so that the people on the West Coast don't know what's going on unless you're on the East Coast and you see it. That's why I said, if you're in your West Coast, and they probably took out the word retirement, so that way when he actually retires in Minneapolis, you're gonna be like, oh, he finally retired. While people in the East Coast is like, wait a minute, like, in our feed he said retirement, and then they're gonna go back and watch the clip, and the complete clip is going to show the West Coast clip where he doesn't mention the word, and then it's going to make you seem like you're crazy. This is what they do. This is what they do. This is what WWE does. They make you think you're crazy, but you're not really crazy. But I'm just saying, like he said in his promo, if you go back in the West Coast, I'm not sure. I haven't seen the West Coast feed, but if they took out the word retirement, it's because they did it.
I got it. Mama, the retirement. Okay, I get to the retirement. Was taken out of context. Okay, then. What, man? If I had a drink for every time you said the retirement, I'd be freaking dead on my ass. Okay, Arlene, I hear you, but we're spinning the same record. Oh, okay, I had to pull the needle out there at some point because swear every other sentence was retirement. If there's one thing that grinds my gears, the word of the day is redundancy. Thank you, Arlene. I love you, but seriously, we got the word retirement down into oblivion. Go buy a dictionary, folks, and learn what stupidity and retirement means and why WWE doesn't understand either. Okay, Charles, I see your hand. What do you guys say real quick? But freaking West Coast is a new world. The East Coast is the old world, apparently.
The only thing I remember from that fame, you say retired beast. That's never said anything about coming out. He still says he's active retired. So it's weird. That's it. So there you go. And Noah, breathe.
I'm fine. But
No, you're not.
Someone has to pull the needle off the record. If we're spinning the same wheel, 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 if we're spit. And that being said, context aside, it is what it is when you deal with WWE, who believes the fans have the attention span of a TikTok short, which is 15 seconds, I think, unless that got changed. No one's being called out to be stupid, even if it's inadvertently maybe the company's mindset that they can still rely on Joe Schmo from Kokono and Cindy from Cincinnati and Callie from freaking Orlando or freaking Devin from Washington. Regardless, they have the outlook and they know it. Moving on, though, regardless, we're all right now saying Obafemi, Obafemi, Obafemi. And I'm also going to say Obafemi. Because, in my opinion, the scene we want to see is change. To elicit change in WWE, you have to push new stars. All right? And JJ, I know, is pushing right now for Brock to push this to a trilogy, I believe. And Oba, of course, winning ultimately in the end. Again, much like how we kind of saw the exhaustion factor with Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. But it's just one of those things right now where they put so much stock into Obafemi. It's almost like a Gunther trope. If he gets a championship, okay, now what? How long before he loses it? What do you do afterwards? Does he recover it? Thankfully, I haven't hit that point yet. And everyone right now are just waiting for Obafemi and Roman Reigns. And that might literally be do or die for freaking Obafemi and for the biggest gem in a freaking coal mine that WWE has had out of this NXT, with all due respect. It's one of those things also where you literally have put this man into a program with Brock Lesnar in his main roster debut. You can't fuck this up or you've already ruined him. So in a way, they have to make sure that Obafemi continues to look strong. And I think they realized that when these open challenges wasn't adding any stock, which is why they brought this back. And I think it was brought back for a reason. And I don't think it was brought to simply go 2-0, simply put. I think it was literally one of those things where Brock needs to be pushed to see if he can survive Obafemi, not beat him. And I think that's going to be the testament here. So I'm going to say that regardless, Brock gets pissed. Brock attacks Obafemi. Brock leaves Obafemi laid out. But I still think Obafemi is going to be running the winner, and I don't think the man's going to be done with each other. I'm going with Obafemi. That being said, Emmanuel, you're the last one, I believe, after we stopped saying retirement every other sentence, with all due respect. I also do believe that repetition can be a curse and can also be a very dangerous thing. And right now, this repetition, it sounds like to me and WWE, they belong in the same sentence. That's a different conversation. What do you guys say regarding Brock Lesnar and Obafemi?
Well, I can understand both sides. I mean, like, Oba needs to face a diversity and challenges. You don't want to make him be so unstoppable. Then who's to defeat him? You know, type of trope. Because then the problem will die. Like, let's say, for example, let's say Jabon Evans versus Obafemi for the title, and Jabon Evans wins it. Fans will go, really? Jabon Evans? Of all the people? That's the only problem I have with that. That they're not gonna. He's gonna drop it to somebody newer or younger, because I don't think a current, like a veteran dethrone Uba at this point. It'd be more beneficial if it's a younger guy who benefit being Uba. That's why I bring Devon Evans as an example, and that's the problem right there. Um, with Brock Lesnar, like I'm not sure why WWE did what it did. If if this was just a part of the storyline, why even unlace his boots and all of that big piece of gear on the ring? Why do that? That doesn't make sense at all. Why they had him bring back a month later just for a quick payday for squash? If Brock Lesnar is saying that he just came out of retirement and he's going to stay retired after this, why does he need to win? Like, I hope, in a sense, Brock Lesnar gets beat up the same way as John Cena got beat up. I'm talking about like Oba dominates Brock Lesnar so badly and so definitively that people will be shocked. I can't believe what I saw. Oba just dominated Brock Lesnar, and Brock didn't have zero offense in the match. Zero. He just played being 1, 2, 3. Like, he being so badly, they might call the match. He doesn't even need to defeat Brock Lesnar 1, 2, 3 or submission. They could just call the match. Like no, like Brock Lesnar is fighting back at that point, and they just give it to Oba. That's more of an impactful win for Oba that he beat so much Brock Lesnar that we can't believe it. We're shocked. Like holy crap, he knocked out Brock Lesnar.
All right. Well, regardless, we can all agree on one thing. It's going to be a hell of a fight. I think it's going to go longer than 5 minutes. And I think, regardless, this is not going to be the last encounter. But we know that Obafemi has to look stronger in the end. Okay. And yes, big meaty brawl. And I also want to point this out here. If you believe in any way that your interpretation of what you see in WWE is affected by anyone's opinion, don't be afraid to speak your mind constructively because sometimes people don't know how to necessarily vocalize or interpret what you may be feeling. Be considerate and conscious of one another's thoughts and opinions. And also, as a student of FIU, respect your airtime and also watch your dictation. Thank you. Well, that being said, we've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of Italian references, rants, and video game tangents. We've also had some unique polarizing predictions and conversation. But let's go ahead and get right down into the main sort of business. Let's go ahead and get to what I have to imagine has to be right. I mean, it has to be right. It has to be the main event. I'd be shocked if it wasn't because it's tribal combat. And this tribal combat feels like to me the most serious tribal combat that we're ever going to see in WWE. Y'all know what I mean? Because little cousin wants to take everything. And originally it wasn't about being the tribal chief. It was taking everything from the tribal chief. If Jacob Fatu wins, you will be acknowledging a new tribal chief as everything is on the line. It's Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu for the second time. After Backlash, where Jacob Fatu was on the verge of being fired, let's call it what it is, folks. And of course, he was able to pull out a blood oath that goes all the way back to the Nali family's roots in the Nali tree, tribal combat. Roman Reigns couldn't back down because, again, he is the head of the table. He has to defend that honor, that spot. It is that trial where you truly show whether you serve or you will be served. And for all we know, someone might be serving a pink slip after this. But when you think about a guy that was left on the outside, grinding for everything, while the prodigal child was able to earn, take, hold on, and seize everything, that's the story here when it comes to this internal, like I said, civil war developing, I think, in the Anali family tree. And it's reaching a boiling point right now. Now, whether or not this truly is sell one-on-one or the Usos come to the aid of the tribal chief or play a factor, or some of the outside parties, we've seen L.A. Knight, kind of getting involved maybe in bloodline business because he wants to obviously confront whoever holds the World Heavyweight Championship. Long overdue. I know one person far to the right of me definitely agrees with that. It's one of those things, though, that just feels like, to me, Jacob Fatu humbly said in that Ed segment, either way, I have a job, man. Nothing changes. But what will you do when you have to acknowledge me? Yeah, know what I mean? So the thing here is, can you imagine a future where Jacob Fatu is reduced to Roman Reigns' lapdog? Can you interpret a future where Jacob Fatu is now the guy that you literally acknowledge to and serve? And as this Roman Reigns experiment just went gone like that, and does he take a short break till SummerSlam? Again, let's go around the horn and see what y'all think is the future of not only, let's call it what it is, the head of the table, the tribal chief, and for that matter, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So let's go ahead and start with JJ. JJ, this has been a really weird, like I talked about with Gunther and Cody, way to segue things after WrestleMania since CM Punk with MIA. I'm just saying. And again, it's still in the family. At the end of the day, it's still in the family, but Jacob Fatu as the one to acknowledge to, that never was on my bucket list as far as the World Heavyweight Championship goes, or even 2026. So could you see that as a reality? Or once again, does Roman Reigns win? And if Jacob Fatu, he's got a job, maybe he'll actually get everything, but he just has to make sure to do Roman Reigns' bidding. And could you see Jacob Fatu doing that? What do you think happens here, man? What's the outcome of Tribal Combat? Feels like an endgame to me.
Before I get to your questions, could you do me a favor and read Datila's comment here?
Yeah, it says, I believe in...
I believe in Joe Hendry.
I'll be cursed.
Shut the fuck up, Charles. Damn it. Every fucking time. I can't go one show without that happening. Continue.
So what you're asking me, what you're saying here is that for years, Jacob Fatu was on the outside. He's looking in. He could see through you, see your true colors. Because inside, Roman Reigns is ugly. He's ugly like him. He could see through all that, see to the real you. Is that what you're telling me, Noah?
To a degree, yes, Dr. Seuss.
Okay. Shout out to Aaron Lewis and Stained if y'all caught that reference.
Bloody brilliant goober. Continue.
Ever since Jacob left Solo's shadow, I don't see Jacob being second fiddle to anybody.
Same.
So as far as falling in line, acknowledging the tribal chief, doing his bidding and all that stuff, no. I don't see that for Jacob. Jacob Fatu is world champion. I do see that at some point. I don't think Sunday is that point.
Oh.
You don't sign Roman Reigns to a contract to be full-time through SummerSlam and take the belt off of him before SummerSlam. That is stupid.
Stupido.
It just serves no purpose. The soonest I could see them getting a belt off of Roman, and I still don't think it happens, mind you, would either be Night of Champions or Saturday night's main event in July, because then you could run the match back at SummerSlam instead of Roman lose, leave with his tail tucked between his legs until he decides to reemerge again. But you don't pull that trigger here. And don't give me the whole, oh, Roman's not going to Saudi Arabia. We haven't heard it from a reliable source.
I didn't hear
We've
that.
heard it from dirt sheets. And I'm not going to take anything away from some of the dirt sheets that have said it, because a lot of times they end up being accurate.
I'll take your word for it. I read none of them.
But I just don't see them signing Roman to this full-time deal for him to miss a PLE during that run, especially with all the bonuses that they get for Saudi. Roman, being a money man, is all about stacking that paper. He's going to take that payday. Just like Vanilla Ice took that payday to be in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze.
Fair enough on both tangents. I understood that reference too. So that being said, you got Roman Reigns retaining.
I acknowledged my tribal chief.
Okay, then. Let's go ahead and see if the rest of the panel acknowledges what you threw down and also acknowledge the tribal chief. We'll just go.
And how many of them acknowledge Aaron Lewis, damn it? Because that is a sleeper song from a sleeper band, and I might actually be going to see them in concert in October.
I mean, really?
Yeah, they're actually doing a reunion tour, 25th anniversary of that album.
That's crazy. Talk about it's been a while.
Makes me feel old.
Well, you're on the outside. But that being said, let's go ahead and move on.
It's been a while since I've heard their music on the radio.
It's been a while. No, copyright. By the way, great song. Now that we're here so far away, let's continue through this far away. Go ahead,
yes, let's fade from you to Emmanuel.
I know what I'm listening tomorrow morning. That being said, Emmanuel, what's your thoughts towards this? Do you acknowledge your tribal chief, or do you think that Jigga 2 seizes the throne and everything that comes with it?
Well, first of all, Noah, I've never acknowledged the tribal chief because I felt because it's the same formula. It's for me. I could see the process when I saw Roman Reigns getting pushed. I'm like, they're trying to make John Cena 2.0. They're making he's trying to make the cool factor, and it worked.
They were doing it all for you.
Yeah, I get that. And it worked because
you just literally
it's just the price you pay when you play the game.
I know.
It's all about the game and how you play it. Continue.
I know. I just stating facts right now. Because I never followed, even though he turned heel, I never followed Roman Reigns because I knew what's going to happen. But nevertheless, a lot of people who were complaining about Roman Reigns' reign, like it's being faced once he turned heel, people were excited. Let's see what it goes to, and then
see if he does something. Basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and the heel turn happened. And we got the same matches. Anyways, that's not what I'm talking about. For me, Jacob Fatu needs to win this. Because if he doesn't acknowledge this dispute going to continue again for a door match for him to lose again, that does not make sense. And to see Jacob to go, I acknowledge my tribal chief in defeat, makes him making worse. And it feels like it'll downplay his cool factor, that the street cred, all that, it's gone. It's vanished. Would it be the wrong decision for him for Roman Reigns to lose that title? It doesn't hurt him. He's still going to be popular. Would it be a more interesting match, probably, to see who could dethrone the psychotic, predictable man of a Jacob Fatu against an Obafemi? That would be a hell of a match in SummerSlam.
That's a fair point, actually. That does sound like a wild affair, honestly. Continue.
It'd be because it'll be a little bit different and a little bit more unpredictable. Because we're already saying, it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Obafemi, and we're thinking Obafemi is going to win SummerSlam. Or if it's not, he's going to win it in WrestleMania. he's going to win the Rumble or the Chamber, facing Roman Reigns again because he defeated him and he has something to prove. In WWE logic, that's a good storyline for him to follow up if he loses in the SummerSlam. Because we talked before how Oba needed a adversary, a reason to lose, and him losing against Roman Reigns for the first time is not a bad show because Roman Reigns is the top man. So who's to say Roman Reigns is a adversity to go over the hump? So he needs to be chasing a little bit longer. So either way, like if I feel like if Jacob needs to win this, if not, I think it's gonna kill his momentum. I don't think because people are still doing his catchphrases. No brakes, no gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes, but I do see what you
Yeah.
mean. So you think Jacob 2 needs this win. You're going with Jacob 2 winning?
Yes, that's why I played my manual card.
Oh, son of a bitch. Ah, damn it.
Yes,
I
my
was hoping just one night you can avoid that trope. Just one damn night. Bloody hell.
because I feel like everybody's gonna pick Roman Reigns to win. So that's why I'm gonna make it official. My official pick, and I don't care if I'm in my of my own. I hope Jacob Fatu wins this title and make a difference because we've been complaining how Reigns have been going down, and it's to say predictable champions Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. At this point, if we're talking about Gunther winning the title, we need to consider Jacob winning the title and see if his heel run goes anywhere. If it does, even if it's a short reign and he loses back to Roman Reigns, it's okay. At least you're experimenting. You see where it goes. If people actually boo him or still cheer him on, at least you know it's going to the right direction. Okay, we have a champion in the future. Maybe we save it in a future day for a longer reign. But it's not the end of the world for him because he's had so much years and promising years to get that championship and have it a longer reign.
Okay, fair enough. Interesting subtangent with a lot of fair points to consider, I think. And you definitely gave us some food for thought. I could already see JJ's gears turning because I all know how well this man loves to use long-term storytelling to his advantage. And you might just help him create a long-term story with Fatu and Roman outside what I think is going to be an inevitable Survivor Series War Games and now a freaking family Civil War blood feud inside Team Fatu versus Team Roman, but maybe I'm just speculating. But thank you for that, Emmanuel. Okay, Arlene, in a simple matter, let's see if you acknowledge your brother. Do you agree with Emmanuel, or do you think Roman Reigns is going to retain? Do you acknowledge your tribal chief?
Listen, I can rant about this one, but I won't because you told me to keep it simple, so I will. Um,
Yeah, I feel like this one we just keep it simple.
so I will keep it simple. The storyline is all too similar. This is why I say Daily Creative just likes to copy storylines. We saw this with Solo.
Redundancy.
What happened when they were fighting for the Hula Fala, and what happened when Solo lost it? He was supposed to acknowledge Roman Reigns, and who was there wanting to follow Solo's lead? And when Solo didn't do anything, who got on his case because he didn't do anything? Now you're telling me, because I think I know where this match is going. You're telling me that now Jacob is going to me, honestly, show be a hypocrite because he got on Solo's case for not doing anything right away. You're telling me that, like JJ said, that he's just gonna sit there and follow Roman's lead when he loses? Because I feel like he's gonna lose. The like I said, not very creative. So what do I think is gonna happen? I think Roman Reigns is gonna win. Jacob's not gonna fall in line, just like Solo didn't want to fall in line. And yes, they did say that Roman's going to be on this European tour. They didn't say what dates. I don't know whether it's like consecutively or whatever. But if it isn't consecutively, because I don't know what the dates he is scheduled there. But let's say if he doesn't show up after the two Clash of Italy, sorry. Um, he could be written off for a while. So
Watch.
this is where I feel like they're gonna have Jacob destroy Roman, where he's gone for a little bit, for 2 weeks. Roman comes back, and basically Jacob's gonna say, "I'm the tribal chief," even though he didn't win, and live in this land of like he thinks he's ruler, even though he lost, and expect everybody to fall in line. And when they don't fall in line, he's gonna take care of them, just like he took care of Roman. And then I can see this leading to war games, like JJ said, or I forget who said it, that it was going to lead to war games, where it's
It's
going
an
to be
E.
Jacob. It was you, sorry. So let me get that correct. So I think this is going to lead to war games, where essentially, who's going to be joining Jacob? I don't know, but Roman has his team. But I'm curious where this leads with Solo, because Solo was in that exact same position, and he got criticized for not taking advantage of it. So to me, for him to fall straight in line doesn't make sense. Roman is winning this. I do agree. Does Jacob need it? I agree with my brother too. My brother's right. Jacob needs this because I do not see him falling in line to Roman. I do not. He would
Okay.
rather die than fall in line with him. So that is why I feel like when Roman wins, he's gonna destroy him, and he's gonna pretend that he's the head of the table, even though he's not. And this is gonna lead down to another storyline where he chooses not to acknowledge him, and he's gonna be like, "I know I lost, but I don't care. I'm the head of the tribal chief. You're gonna have to put me down like a good dog." And what do? To a good dog that has rabies, they shoot him down and they kill him. So the
Diesel
only
Yeller
way
freaking
he's giving
reincarnated.
away, yeah, the only way they're gonna get
All right.
rid of Jacob Fatu is if they kill him. And
Well, that's a
this is
bold
where,
take, but you know, I mean, God, freaking Godfather in the boat, guy from behind shot him in the brain. But you know, they did the Goodfellas thing and mafia. I mean, we're in Italy. Sometimes you disrespect the family, you get whacked by the fucking family. Because at the end of the day, you take a blood oath, and Roman did say it's a blood oath. So I see what you mean, but regardless, you got Roman Reigns winning.
yes, even though I
Okay.
do agree with my brother that Jacob should win, he should
All right.
win. I want him to win, but I don't think they're gonna do that because DD Creative does not think that far ahead of they like to follow storylines, and this is a storyline I feel like is repeated with Solo and him wanting to be head of the table. It's
Yeah,
the
it
same
feels
thing
like
with
we're just
Jacob.
getting monthly episodic things here, but I see what you mean. It's not a continuation like Pokemon that's overrated, but thank you for that. Okay, so we got a Roman, we got a Fatu. Let's go ahead and bring Charles in to almost wrap this up. Charles, where do you stand on this? I mean, Jacob Fatu, again, loose cannon. How do you freaking tame a wild beast? Do you do it by force, or does he still remain off the leash? And if he remains off the leash, does he just run away, come back another day? Because Jacob Fatu, he's a force to be reckoned with. And Roman Reigns could use that, honestly, to his advantage and to the family's strength. But if Jacob Fatu doesn't want to play nice, I could also see Fatu going A1, maybe Fatu leaving for a little while and regrouping. So what do you think happens here? What do you got?
Well, one, the other thing, yeah. I'm also going to play the Emmanuel card.
Damn it.
I was going to play it first before Emmanuel did it, but Emmanuel beat me to the punch. I do see Jacob winning this. I do. But the other thing, if Roman were to win, Jacob would have to acknowledge. Otherwise, Jacob probably disappeared because our peers will fire him. Because of how crazy Jacob Fatu was. They mentioned that back on Raw.
Fair.
So it's like, I'm going with Jacob to win, but if he loses, guess we're just repeating the same old thing all over again. So please, Jacob, win.
Wow. He's actually pleading for Jacob Fatu to win.
Yes. Even if we're a short thing, I don't care, please. And also, Roman is booked for a good amount of dates in June. So,
There you go.
and Vishnu and that's dead.
Emmanuel apparently acknowledged that thought. All right. Emmanuel, what you got to say here real quick?
Yeah, to keep in mind, before you do your prediction, there's a reason why he destroyed a Solo and the MFT. He basically killed that faction. He killed the Usos by himself. Like, you can't keep trying to say he's this dominant, out of control, loose cannon, and make him lose yet again. Roman Reigns barely got out of it, and barely escaped with the win because of the exposed turnbuckle. And you can't keep saying, "Oh, now he loses cleanly, now he loses fairly," with the help with the Usos and everything like that. Then, then is he really a face? Is Roman Reigns really a face because he allowed his cousins to help him out? Like then it makes Roman look even more weaker. Like, he can't do it, and they're right. Like, he can't do him. He can't do him by himself. Like,
that's fair, especially because he's been trying to do it by himself, and he's been trying to be the babyface of Monday Night Raw. Again, at the end of the day, he's the babyface in this story. Jacob Fatu is the villain. I understand where you and Charles are coming from, but
one question, Noah.
What?
Before you continue, if Jacob Fatu does win it, does that mean Roman Reigns hands him the Ula Fala to Jacob?
I would say yes. It's tribal combat. Everything is on the line. It's a blood oath. If he wins, literally everybody will be serving Fatu. He will be the head of the table. He'll have everything. So it's just that vision, that visual, which is probably more appropriate because there isn't a vision on Raw. There's a vapor. It's just one of those things. I just feel like right now, though, that this has gotten so personal, and it's tribal combat. So honestly, the entire family, both sides of the family could be involved here. For all we know, so Dakota might go A1 and literally do this for Fatu. We don't know the depths of what this tribal combat can go to. And it's that stipulation that really has me turning myself around thinking, okay, which side should this go? Okay, if Roman wins, then Fatu. He now serves them, or does he just go MIA to avoid acknowledging his tribal chief? And then who's next for Roman before the inevitable, what people think is going to be the family agenda? And even during that time, do you run back LA Knight to give LA Knight a chance, or do you repeat that? And do we get the same result where your boy, again, falls short? Unfortunately, I'm sick and fucking tired of that, by the way. And we also, of course, at one point thought Gunther was going to go after the title. Well, Gunther's going after Cody. So if Gunther beats Cody, then Gunther's the guy on SmackDown. If Gunther doesn't beat Cody, then he's buried in the water as well, I guess. Maybe he goes back to Korea to try to kill Brock Lesnar. And then again, you got Open Family and Brock Lesnar and their thing right now. So it's almost like Roman Fatu is the only thing for this title on Raw. So, crap. And it's also one of those things that he hasn't beaten him yet. Like I said, tribal combat, though. But this blood oath, this idea of serving him, not acknowledging him, but serving him. That's the trope that's throwing me off. And Fatu is on his own. Again, I don't think that it would be shocking for the Usos to go into business with Fatu and go against Roman Reigns. That would really be a mind fuck. But, again, there are some things that are constant in life. Charlotte Flair, Deonna Purrazzo, she's now got from a champion. And you don't bet against Roman 9.5 out of 10 times. There's a reason he's full-time. There's a reason he's babyface. There's a reason after WrestleMania, the first name mentioned on the post-show to go at him was Obafemi, and he welcomed it. This is a swerve, and a swerve is nothing but a temporary detour. I think we're finally going to move away from the Fatu traffic and put this guy into the parking lot right now in the same spot. I'm going to say that Roman Reigns retains. I think it is going to be a bloody warfare. It's tribal combat. Actually make it feel like that. How about that hot shit? So give me a reason to believe that this is tribal combat. Give me a reason to believe that Roman Reigns will go savage to hold on to this. Give me a reason to believe how important it is for the family to hold on to this. Don't fuck with the family. All right? So I'm going to go with Roman Reigns retaining. Well, that being said, folks, that's Clash in Italy. So again, what are your predictions? What are your opinions on this? What feels like a glorified house show of everything being a rematch? Do you think any titles change hands? Do you think any change is seen in the WWE? Or is it more of the same? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below as we get ready to conclude. Jay, I do see your hand. What you got to say real quick?
This is Clash in Italy.
Yes.
WWE is known for their nostalgia.
Yes.
What are the odds that we get Salvador Sincere, Santino Marella, the FBI,
You're all about those cameos.
some kind of comedic, doesn't have to be in ring, backstage interaction with these Italianos of past.
You got a better chance of Danhausen cursing little Guido than what you just put out there.
Hey, you say that, but correct me if I'm wrong. WWE working relationship with TNA, Santino Marella, TNA. Just saying.
I hear you.
Is there any? I know Aaron Rift likes to say highly unlikely in all likelihood. Is there any possibility of any of these things occurring?
Much like wearing a condom during sex, you still can get an STD. The answer is yes. Okay, but that being said, let's.
I mean, we Backlash Puerto Rico. We had Carlito. We had Savio Vega. Just throwing it out there.
I mean, that's fair.
4 years ago at Clash at the Castle, we had Solo Sikoa debut.
Oh, that's true. You could get another Hoodie Man.
Do we get another member of the Bloodline debuting here? And who do they assist?
Well,
with a special singing line of when Drew McIntyre lost that title.
We don't talk about that.
But we will talk about Noah Foster singing ABBA's Mamma Mia on the Shenanigans Saturday night. $25 super chat.
No, I'm too tired. I'm not going on a rant. No, I'm not doing it. I will remain in control for the duration of these plugs.
Mm-hmm.
You're an asshole. You're a freaking asshole.
Oh, you love us, Noah.
The French national anthem right now.
Don't even go there.
I'm dealing with these people on a daily basis, and yet they're still part of me like a blood feud. I feel like this family I need to redefine my objections to them and their priorities. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Again, thank you all for tuning in to City Predicting. We'll see you Sunday for Clash. Let's get the fuck out of here and do some plugs. Arlene, thank you so much. Emmanuel, thank you so much. Emmanuel and Arlene, don't try and destroy each other, but go ahead and tell where the people can find you.
I was gonna say, what are the odds of Drew McIntyre? Because my brother brought him up, but the last person that he fought against was Jacob Fatu. Who's to say that Drew doesn't cost Jacob Fatu the match?
Well, we all know how much WWE loves to retcon and Brand Split LL. I guess anything can happen, despite the fact we're not in Scotland. But that being said, go ahead and tell where people can find you saving lives and continuing forward in your rants.
You can follow me on Instagram, Arlene Dominguez, on Twitter at ADM73244. And justice for Randy Orton. He should have won the title. That's all.
All right, very good. Again, you're saving lives. I don't need you on a defibrillator, my friend. Thank you so much. God bless you. Emmanuel, always a pleasure. When we have both of the Dominguezes on our screen, it's definitely a higher form of entertainment, sometimes a higher form of chaos, honestly. But tell me and everybody where the people can always find you and what you do on YouTube.
Yes, you could find me and Interactive Games and Movies. I could have tried to do a movie review this coming soon. Tomorrow, it allows me to, and I'm not sure which movie. So stay tuned for the movie surprise. But you could also follow me at Emmanuel Dominguez at Facebook. I have 2 accounts, so if you can't find me in one account, you'll find me in the other. Either or, I'll have 2 accounts for some odd reason. You can follow me EDM. Yeah, you can follow me EDM7324 at Instagram. And you could follow my X account that's under my hashtag, under my name, Emmanuel Dominguez. Interactive Game with a ZS. See right there? Intergame Movies. Follow the channel. And the
Follow the
AEW Mick
channel.
Foley chip pop. The AEW Mick Foley chip pop.
Cheap pop. Freaking cheap pop and cheap plug. Dadgum you. All right, thank you. Charles, I'm glad that you decided to join in the chaos later, as I always expect you to sometimes. Oh, good grief. Go ahead and tell the people who can connect to find you.
You can follow me on X at 2DogRandall. And also, like my name says, believe in chase you or be cursed.
Never. I will never believe in an unaccredited institution. Never. All right. That being said, thank you. Arlene, what you got to say real quick?
I was gonna say, what Chase U? As far as I know, the person that runs Chase U doesn't belong there no more. Just saying.
You still got Fia Hale, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. That being said, JJ, go ahead and tell the people can connect and find you. Always appreciate you, brother. Why don't you also tell the people what upcoming attractions we have coming up here in a little bit because Cibbo Studios too, because God knows, Lord knows, excuse me, I'm not going to use Lord's name in vain, Lord forgive me. Lord knows, God bless you, and Walter and Nick, you guys have been putting in the work, double time, all the time, overtime, for what we do to bring a better outlook and a wide outlook to professional wrestling. So let's go ahead and promote what we do here and where the people can find you. God bless you.
Well, as somebody who does believe in Chase University, you can find me on Instagram at the Renegade JJ Williams, YouTube Casa D18 Studios, X Casa D18 Studio, no S at the end of it on the X. Of course, make sure you're following the Simply Reliable Studios on X at SR Studios 2024. That is where you'll find all of my posts. I'm the main one that posts, even though everyone pretty much has access to it. They just choose not to use it, and that's okay. That's on them.
Yeah, you're the social media ambassador. Let's just call it what it is. Not only that, we're spending the other platforms as folks.
We're on Spotify. You can find all our interviews so far on Spotify. Just look up Saturday Shenanigans. Tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific, myself and Walter will be talking to Kid Bandit, the recently retired Kid Bandit, about to launch T for T Wrestling, which is an organization featuring some of the top trans and non-binary talent in professional wrestling.
Interesting.
It is centered on trans and non-binary empowerment through the art of wrestling. Acts like Sunny Kiss, Nyla Rose will be part of their debut show. So make sure you support them. Make sure you support our interview. Again, that'll be 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific tomorrow on Tuesday. The center of attention.
Hey, Brittany Brooks.
Be having a lovely conversation with her.
Let's go.
That just about covers it for me. You saw her in the chat. Make sure you follow Datilla, Rangers of Wrestling on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. Datilla_ on X. Noah's been popping it up a couple times. PC Powerbomb.
That's Pop Culture Power. In case you're all wondering what that stands for, note to self, by the way. Get rid of the bird. It's a freaking black and white X. Continue.
PC Powerbomb on Twitter, on X. Bro, if you look at them, all of these have the bird still. Okay,
We need to update them. The bird is dead. The bird's been dead for the last daggum freaking couple of years, I think. Anyway, continue.
The Trashmen told us, and Peter Griffin beat it into our heads. The bird is the word.
That is such a horrible shit.
That is true.
That is such a fucked up TV show amongst so much other media. But anyway, okay. Thank you for that.
Make sure you check that out. I did write a script for what could be Datilla's first Pop Culture Powerbomb episode. I saw somebody posted a reel on Instagram. I forget his name, but it is credited in the script. And he was mentioning how, and this might bring Charles on camera, how the Power Rangers Ninja Turtle crossover episode made the Power Rangers part of so many other universes because of the stuff that the Ninja Turtles have crossed over with. So I kind of break all those things down in a script. Datilla may or may not do a video on that for one of her first videos. Things like Batman, things like Bill and Ted, things like Star Wars and Star Trek, all now are part of a universe that contains the Power Rangers because of that one crossover with the Ninja Turtles. And there's so many others. So many others.
Huh. Well, I mean, again, what has not been portrayed somehow in a New York dark-like environment? I'm just freaking saying. But, okay. Well, that being said, thank you for that, JJ. Okay, man, I see your hand. What you got to say real quick?
All I want is now that JJ's talked about it, I want a War Games, the Ninja Turtles versus the Power Rangers, with Casey Jones as the fifth guy for the Ninja Turtles. That would be a hell of a match.
Dude,
That's
you're putting me
actually a solid idea. Either Casey Jones or Splinter. Splinter can get in there because Hamato Yoshi was a badass motherfucker.
Don't mess with him.
Very much in the same way Yoda was always talked about as this great Jedi, but then we never got to see him fight until the prequels came out.
All right.
We actually got to see how badass Yoda really was. We only ever really heard how badass Hamato Yoshi was. So it'd be kind of cool to see him in War Games defending his children's honor.
Go create that CAW and W2K26, all right? Get that crazy nonsense out of here. Y'all are nuts. And thank y'all for tuning
You
in.
just
Thank you for
gave
that
Charles an idea. Did you hear him?
Also, I know what I'm doing when I get home.
Well, there you go. I get home safe, and all of you get home safe. You are actually out and about somewhere else, traveling, still in a hotel, or somehow listening to this while on the job. God bless you, crazy yahoos. You're all that freaking ridiculous. Again, folks, thank you for tuning in to our City Predicting. If you want to follow me, find me if you choose, and Foster in 1916 on the X and on YouTube. For I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! As you heard, we got upcoming interviews. Sounds like I'm going to be once again back in the hot seat for the Saturday shenanigans before Clash of Italy. We'll be breaking down, of course, updates with the Yolan, as well as, of course, what happened at AEW Double or Nothing and Saturday night's main event. So stay tuned for more on that. And, of course, stay tuned for the Digital League's forum. It'll be available in the comments section. YouTube channel. You all know what to do. Again, I don't know if I'm covering this on Sunday. If I am, I don't know with who, but stay tuned for our coverage, Clash in Italy on ESPN. Shout out to my brother Papagino, Phyllis Petition. We'll be breaking it down, Petition Postmortem, 6 p.m. Standard Time, Monday night. And that's all I gotta say for now, as I remind you, don't ever fuck the family. But also on the winners, no losers, no betters. Just fans on appearances, fans on share. We're going to continue to cover the Owen. We'll see you next Wednesday for that. And all right, that's enough of that. Shoot, my voice is already tired enough from covering AEW last night for freaking 3 hours. But seriously, as I like to remind all of you, as I'd like to remind all of you, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. There was 2, by the way, in case you lost count.
Oh, that's okay. There was one when I left to go to work. They added one after I left.
I'm always going to bring the accuracy because that's what I do as a connoisseur of all things wrestling, JJ. You should know that by now, bruv. So with that being said, botch politely on your part, but I respect you. And I also respect all. Oh, bloody hell. And I also respect all of you, as I'd like to remind you, there are no winners, no losers, no betters, just fans of opinions with this passion we all share. So at the end of the day, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. Treasure your families, no matter how much they drive you batty. Shout out to our Canadian Financial Base. Subscribe today, Back for Wrestling. Enjoy your life, enjoy professional wrestling. It's truly as simple as that. And I can't leave without plugging the reliable one here, of course, Walter Cruz. Follow him today at Rage of Wrestling. We love you, Walter. Take care always, bruv. Of course, lead as a father figure for your youngins, too. And as always, hit the subscribe button, know this video goes live, man, and hit the YouTube channel, so you have the Simple Apple Studios banner. And hit the subscribe button, I assure you, the creativity, the content, the madness, the predictions, and the passion's not going to happen anytime soon. And again, as I'd like to remind you, the focus on Wednesday night Dynamites will be for the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. As the matches took place during Dynamite, but we decided to do the collision because we're not in thoughts. We're not doing that again. I'm calling an official pause on that. Unless it's on a collision, it's not being covered. We're focusing on the Owen. So we hope to see you for more coverage of WWE. AEW, if NXT ever does another PLE, I guess we'll do that at some point. TNA, that's got theirs next month. Of course, the next Super Things will be for TNA's anniversary. AEW for Bandor and WWE Clash. I mean, Night of Champions. And NXT has nothing. So, again, stay tuned when NXT has something. I don't know. Jake Doyle returns.
Something.
Damn it. So anything could happen. But that's what I got to say for now. So thank you again to that participated in the chat, and Dwayne Atkinson, Dave Scheffler, to everyone that participated in the chat that continue to allow us to move forward. Thank you to all of you, my illustrious panel of friends and fools, to the Dominguezes, Emmanuel Arlene, to Charles Schultz, to JJ Williams, to anyone else that may not be on screen but still has fun encouraging the madness or simply predicting. I thank all of you for tuning in. As I like to remind you in closing, make a positive impact in life. Have a good night, and thank you for tuning in to another insane edition of Simply Predicting as we prepare for their clash in Italy. Let's go. Have a good night, folks. Mamma mia, I'm surrounded by bloody little fools. And you're going to get me to rant because I knew you were going to get me to rant because you all can't help but raise my fucking blood every damn chance you get. You pull the Joe Hendry trope before the damn closer. You freaking rant that needle off the record 240 damn times. Please make me freaking stop ranting. Every damn time I'm trying to go off the fucking air in a positive manner. You find a way to fucking have me go off in a fucking mad rant. I'm freaking sick of all of you sometimes. If I had the mafia in my corner, I would freaking whack
Thank you,
all
everyone.
of you.
Noah, before you go sign off, can we do a prediction of who's going to win Mass Business Mass?
I just said, I hope
Gran Americano Business Gran Americano. This is an important historical match.
Wow.
Good job, man. You made no use.
Thank you.